Hey VC, this is Jonathan, the cheap and cheerful record collector. I've been watching a lot of videos recently and loving a lot of them. And the one I saw today was Billy Hurst, who does great videos, so definitely check his stuff out. He just reached 200 subscribers, so he's doing a giveaway. And part of the giveaway is you do a video, he calls it the name game. So you take your name and take each letter of your name and pick an album that relates that letter of your name. So I thought I'd give it a shot. Starting off with J for Jonathan. First album up, Robert Johnson, King of the Delta Blues. One of the great bluesmen of all time. Every rock song you know started with this one. He died unknown and penniless. Stories he was poisoned by a girl or a boyfriend of a girl he was seeing. Only recorded maybe 30 songs within a couple of days of each other in 1936, in November 1936 and June 1937. Really was unknown for many years until they released two albums of his music in 1960s, and all of a sudden Eric Clapton and Peter Green and all the British bluesmen started listening to him and became obsessed with Robert Johnson. And from that, Jimmy Page, everybody else started taking his stuff and making it their own. On this album, I mean, there's not a bad album, not a bad cut on this album. You got Crossroad Blues, Terraplane Blues, 3220 Blues. My favorite is probably Milk Cows Blues or Hellhound on My Trail. Robert Johnson for J. Next letter is O. O. Otis Spann. Otis Spann, piano player, played with Muddy Waters for many years. This album was recorded in 1960, August 23rd, as opposed to today when they takes 6 months to record an album. They sat down and recorded the whole album. Otis Spann on piano and Robert Lockwood Jr. on guitar. Robert Lockwood Jr., as you can see, him in the back there, Robert Lockwood Jr., was actually I think he was a nephew of Robert Johnson. So it all comes back together again. Quick story about Otis Spann. Old enough and lucky enough that in 1965 or 66, I think it's 1965, who can remember how many years ago that was? 1965, I went to the Newport Folk Festival. I was 16 years old. I was a counselor in a summer camp nearby there, and we had the day off, so we drove to the folk festival, and back then you paid, I think it was $2.50, and you get into this big open field, and there were stages set all around the field, and just spend the day walking around and standing in front of a stage. So this stage would be topical songs, that would be bluegrass music, that would be Ozark music, whatever it happens to be. And as I'm walking around behind the main stage, they had a little stage set up, and that was the blues stage. And I walk over, and who's playing but Otis Spann with Willie Dixon. Willie Dixon on bass, Otis Spann on piano, and that was really one of the highlights of my musical concert-going series. So, a quick little story about Otis Spann. Next thing is N. N. Randy Newman. Good old boys. I have a real soft spot in my heart for Randy Newman. I think he's one of the great songwriters of our period. I don't really care about all his Disney stuff and all that crap, but boy, there's some great stuff here. I don't know if you know his album, put out in 1974. To pick a best song out of this album would be really impossible, but I guess I go with Guilty, which you might know Bonnie Raitt's version, very popular. Also love Rednecks, Marie, Naked Man. I mean, there's not a bad cut on this album. But Randy Newman, good old boys. Next letter in the name is A. When I hit A, I think Luther Allison. This album is Luther Allison and the Blue Nebula, recorded 1969. There's not enough blues on the VC. I see heavy metal, I see rock, I see pop, I see everything else. Not enough blues, so I'm a blues hound, so this is what I'm doing. Luther Allison is a great album. Also has Jimmy Fastfinger Dawkins playing guitar along with Luther. Delmark Records out of Chicago. Great record. Best song on here. And there's so many. He does so many great covers. He does Little Red Rooster, Dust My Broom, The Sky is Crying. Any of those, just fantastic. Luther Allison. You may not have heard a lot about him because he left the States and went to live in Europe for many years in the 60s and 70s and came back to the States infrequently. But a great blues man. Jonat. Next letter would be T. Another man I have a soft spot for who doesn't get enough play, but I think is an amazing guitar player. Richard Thompson. This is a Richard Thompson album, live. It's called Small Town Romance. It's a live solo album recorded in New York at the Bottom Line, 1982, and at Gertie's Folk City, also in New York in 1982. This happens to be a Holland press from Holland, distributed in the UK. It's a international album. There's the label, Hannibal Labels. Sort of cool. I don't know if you can see that. I know it's with the light today. Favorite song on this album, probably Woman or Man or Beat the Retreat. But, I mean, again, there's nothing bad on this album. Just great stuff. Richard Thompson, one of the real unsung guitar heroes, I think, in our generation. Fantastic. Richard Thompson. Next would be H. I had so much trouble picking out an H. There's so many great guitar people, players, singers, songwriters, guitar players with H, but I ended up settling on an album that's really obscure, hard to find. I found this one, cost me $1 at a friend's. Actually went to a football game, watching TV, we're up here in New England, so we're big Patriot fans, so I was watching a Pat game. Went downstairs to a friend's basement to go to the bathroom, and there's all these records sitting there. I went up, talked to him, and eventually made a deal and bought everything he had. This was the cream of the crop. The Deep Blues Harmonica of Walter Horton. Really hard album to find. This is an English copy, 1984, JSP Records. Recorded in late 1960s. And it's exactly what it says, the Deep Blues. It's Deep Blues Harmonica. Raw, just fantastic. The songs on this I really love. First song, Hard Hearted Woman, and Walter's Jump. Just fantastic. Really hard to find. If you can find any Walter Horton on any recording anywhere, don't hesitate, just grab it. Great stuff if you love the blues. Next one is A. Jonatha. Next Day. A departure from the blues, but stuff I love also. Asleep at the Wheel. In the same vein of Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys. This is their first album with, of course, Ray Benson doing the lead vocals. Country Swing. Love this record. Andy Stein's on it, Johnny Gimbel. This is also 1974. Great stuff. Saw them a couple of years ago here in Maine. Give a great show. Just so much fun. Love that Country Swing. And the last letter is N in my name. Jonathan. And the inimitable, the great, the one and only Harry Nilsson. A little touch of Schmielsen Nilsson. Nilsson, a lot of people don't know Nilsson, great songwriter, had incredible stage fright, would never play concerts, rarely played live, but a great singer-songwriter. This one is, I think, the original with a gatefold. The only problem with this album is that it's on that frickin' Flex, Dynaflex, which I just can't stand. It's just like, they're like, no, I hate these records. But it's the only one I got. Any Nilsson is good Nilsson. So this one, favorite songs, I'm going to go with Making Whoopee and As Time Goes By. Great covers of those songs. Nilsson was a big friend of John Lennon. They hung out together a lot in California when John left Yoko and the big scene there. But great album. So those are my picks for the choose your name, the name game. Thanks for watching my videos. I only started a little while ago, so let me know what you think. If you like it, subscribe on down below there. I think you can subscribe and write me a comment what you think about it. And thanks for my 5 subscribers. Thanks so much, and keep looking, and will be more to come. Okay? Thanks for everything. Have a great day, and peace.